Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a knitting update. How long has it been since I've done a knitting update? I actually haven't had time to knit, so that's probably why. I mean, I have had time to knit, but I haven't really wanted to talk about it, to be honest. But here we are on a lovely cloudy day here in Austin. I just came back from Knitting in the Heart of Texas, hosted by Knit ATX and Moondrake Yarns. Absolutely fabulous retreat. I was vending at that retreat, and I have some clips and footage of me at that retreat that I will share. For the first few days, vlogging is really, really hard for me to do in public for some reason. Probably because I'm slightly introverted and I don't want people to judge me with my camera because I might judge others with their camera sometimes. But I'm different. So I'm trying to get better at vlogging in person. So here we are. We're a few days out from Knitting in the Heart retreat. That happened this past weekend, and it was wonderful. I would definitely vend again. And vending at retreats is so wonderful. You get to spend so much time with the same people. Oh, there's a little squirrel with a nut outside the window. Okay, so burp. Knitting in the Heart of Texas. I loved the retreat. Working the retreat was absolutely amazing. I really loved getting to know everybody. Some of my friends from Knit ATX came, and it's just fun to hang out with everybody for a full weekend. As I was vending, I didn't take any classes, but the teachers were amazing from what I heard, and just sitting with the teachers, chatting with them during breakfast, lunch, and then also getting to know them while I was vending was great. Getting to know other vendors was awesome. I finally got to meet Gabby with Plies and Hellhounds. I've been a fan for a long time. I made her a little special mug. Same thing with the Wandering Flock. Don Barker with Barker Wool, Labiana May, Amy with Labiana May was there. Who else? Twisted Ambitions yarn, Moondrake yarn. I'm like walking table to table. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? No, I'm not. Oh, Erin with Yarn Matter. Well, we see each other all the time. What can we say, Erin? So it was just fun hanging out with all of the yarn community, knitting community, and getting to know everybody a little bit more. I get a little bit nervous when going to these things because I have this huge anxiety issue just in general. You can't tell because I'm very performative. Hello, theater majors, where you at? But I tend to get a little nervous just because, I'm putting my art out there. It's very personal. And then also I'm getting kind of like back in the swing of things since my mother passed away recently, which was about a month ago. So it's been quite the rocky start to 2026, I must say. But I'm an adult and we just keep moving on, and I process the things when I need to process them. And, life just is lifing. So let's get into Knitting in the Heart retreat. Let's talk about some fun stuff, and then the heavy stuff maybe later if I feel like talking about it. So maybe heavy stuff now, because let's just get it out of the way. Trigger warning. Not really trigger warning. But I've been, sorry, let me just sit back. Let me sit my ass down. Okay. I've been knitting. When my mom was in the hospital before she entered hospice, I started knitting I got it right here. Got the pattern. Hello. So when my mom was in hospice, when she was in hospice and also when she was in the ICU, I was knitting the heirloom quilt cardigan. And so I needed something easy, something that I could put down if she needed my assistance, all these things. And if you are going through something, emotionally or mental health wise, this cardigan is the best to work with. And I say that because you just work little squares. And then when you complete the thing, you just feel a little better because you did something, you know? So it's going to be like a remembrance of my mom kind of sweater because I knit all these squares while she was going through her last, you know, month of life. And it's very special. It's very emotional. It's very special. I don't regret it at all. It just like, I remember her saying like, oh, that's so pretty. So it's just like the sweetest memory I could have of my mom and knitting. And it helped me get through it, which is like the thing about making. Like we make to process. Some of us make to process, make for therapeutic reasons. I definitely do. And that was a huge like relief whenever I would grab my needles and work on something. Like it really did help me process everything that was going on, be a better human to my mother, all of these things. So all of those things that you want in knitting, that project is amazing. So I would definitely recommend. All I'm using is just I always picked up like these like Jameson singles or like, what's the other one? Biche and Bouche, singles and like single skeins. And I kind of like picked my, like the same kind of color, like palette, just naturally. So like a black and a beige or like a green and a beige. And so I just mixed and matched them and it's like the perfect weight. I just held it double because it is like a DK and I only got fingering weight yarn. So it was the perfect yarn to have for this project. I would definitely recommend this project. Again, it's the Heirloom Quilt Cardigan by Katrin Seeberger. Yes, Katrin Seeberger. And here comes the Recycle Man. I don't think you can hear him. What am I wearing? I am wearing Ghost Horses by Caitlin Hunter. I wore this at the knitting retreat and got so many questions of like, what did you use? And it's one of my favorite short sleeve sweaters. Let me see if you can, like, it's gorgeous. Hello. Hi. It's held with Fuwa Fuwa by Moondrake, held double for the color work. And I believe the color mint. And then Real Good Orange by La Bien-Aimée in her Merino Sport. So that's that. It's the softest, lightest, coziest shirt sweater thing that I own. And I love it so much. And it's just the best. Also recommend this pattern. I also picked up knitting while doing knitting in the heart of Texas. And I'm doing, I think it's the Mama shorts. So it's basically like undies. And so you have, it looks like this, and it's a free pattern. And I'll just put like the info down below so you can look for it yourself on Ravelry, but it's a free pattern. You do have to go to their website to go download it, because you have to search for like 2.0. I would search for Mama Lucker 2.0 in Google if you want to knit this. And it's just like the cutest little shorts. There is a thicker, I don't know why it cut it off, but anyway, it's booty shorts. And it has like a really like high waist. This is the waist. I'm on the butt. And I should finish soon. And it's fingering weight. So I needed something to like work and be able to put down while I was vending. And that was the perfect project to do while I was venting during knitting in the heart of Texas. So that is currently what's on the needles. I will be casting on more another sweater soon, which I'll talk about in a second, and maybe even doing some intarsia. Thank you, Amy with La Bien-Aimée, for inspiring us all. And also gonna knit another shawl, also inspired by La Bien-Aimé's display. That's another great thing about these knitting retreats, and especially if you're going to, or just like in general, like a market, if somebody's got all of these samples, you get to like try on and see like these patterns in person with these yarns, and it's fabulous. Okay, so let's talk about knitting in the heart of Texas. Again, it's over 3 days. Absolutely wonderful. And there were classes. There was a marketplace open the entire time that you're there, and you get to stay in a hotel with knitters, which is so much fun. One night we even did like a pool night, hot tub night, which Gabby with Plies and Hellhounds kept calling like, let's go be mermaids. And I thought that was adorable and cute. And of course, who doesn't want to be the Little Mermaid for an evening? So we did that. And then, yeah, it's just like you wake up, knit, go to sleep, knit some more, learn about yarn, go touch yarn, go back to sleep, do it all again. And it was amazing. There was a country western night, and I didn't take a picture of my outfit. Hopefully Sydney has it. But I wore my Beyonce boots, the boots that I got to Beyonce for Cowboy Carter concert, and it was wonderful. So I finally got to wear those out because, you know, I'm in Texas. Oh, it's really windy out there. I don't usually wear country western clothes, shockingly. I live in Austin. It's a little different. Anyway, let's get into what did I get at Knitting in the Heart of Texas, and then also talk about what I made. So for Knitting in the Heart of Texas, I made these gorgeous yarn bowls, and I'll enter a video here. Yarn bowls are my favorite thing in the world. I was really, really wanting something to, like, I knit at my coffee table. Like, I knit while watching TV, and then I also knit while sitting at the dining room table, and I was bringing around my travel bags that, like, these are my project bags, things like that, things that I put on the go. But since I've been doing pottery, I don't really knit on the go. I only knit at home. And there are certain projects that I'll bring with me or I'll keep at home. Like if it's a large, like color work sweater, I will leave that at home because I need to count. I can't count in public. And so I really wanted something to put on the table while I was knitting. And so for Knitting in the Heart of Texas, I created these lidded yarn bowls, which hold like one skein of summer yarn, or yarns that kind of like, it holds your skein really tight. And then also like it has like a little notch, an interlocking lid. So it keeps everything inside the jar. And so I created that. A lot of people bought them for yarns. Some people bought them for like scraps to like hide their scraps and then like keep them from their cats, which was cool. Everything in ceramics is multi-purpose, so use it for what you will. I also made summer yarn bowls, which are now going to be at Knit ATX exclusively. I also brought buttons. So buttons are my thing. I really, really like buttons, and everyone loved the buttons. So I'm making more buttons. And not only that, but I'm soft launching right now. I will be creating a button subscription here at Liebeskind Ceramics. So what that means, you'll have luxe buttons, which are luxury buttons. These aren't regular like Joe Schmo tiny like buttons with 2 holes in it. No. These are like custom sculpted buttons that come to you once a month. It is a button subscription. So fun name coming soon when maybe I can brainstorm with my friend Kate on what that should be. Because the buttons were such a huge hit. Ceramic buttons are great. Something that's one of a kind is even better. And something that's made by a maker is like even more better. And so people love the buttons. I sold so many buttons. So we're keeping the buttons. We're going to do that. So I brought some of those. And then I also made custom mugs for the event. So the mugs are custom made from me, like, and they're based on what I'm vibing with. So that's the big thing about Liebeskind Ceramics is I will make things when I want. And because I'm the boss, I can do whatever I want. That's it. If I need to make it again and again and again, like that's not what I want to do. That reminds me of like sitting at a computer. No, we're not doing that. And I quit that job for a reason. So every mug session that comes out, like there usually isn't like another season where I'll replicate it. I will just completely do a different style the next time. So I made skein mugs. And yeah, those were a hit too. So we did really well at this market. I did really well at this market. It was great. And so Again, if you want to buy any of the yarn bowls, you'll just head over to Knit ATX here in Austin. Maybe they'll put them on the website, but I think it's only a shop in person. We'll see. And I also will carry buttons there. Anyway, let's talk about the yarn that I got at this retreat, because staring at yarn all the time, all day for 3 days, you got to get some, especially when they're from your friends. So the first thing that I'm going to knit is a shawl. I don't remember the shawl name because I'm a terrible person. What did I do with that orange skein? Oh, there it is. So Erin with Yarn Matter, she helped me pick out a 2 skeins, one from the Wandering Flock, which is, let's see, what is this? This is 100% extra fine merino, fingering weight, 400 yards. The color is poppy. I used to be the Poppy Library, so hello. And then that is with the Wandering Flock. That's this orange right here. And then Make It Cute and Savage. This is dyed with Indigo and Fuse Stick, which is from Yarn Matter, which is a naturally dyed yarn. Absolutely fabulous. And this is her smooth sock base, which is silk, extra fine merino, wool, and yak. And it is one of the softest things I've ever touched in my life. So these are the 2 colors. And I will be knitting this. I'll put the picture here. This lovely, lovely, what is it called? It's not a scarf. Shawl. It's a shawl. I will be knitting that lovely shawl with these yarns. And then I just couldn't help myself. I wanted to knit another shawl. So I will be using these yarns. Again, Wandering Flock and Yarn Matter. So Yarn Matter, same color. Wandering Flock, same yarn, but in Neon Sherbet and Flamingo are the 2 extra ones. And then I will also be using Poppy for this shawl right here. Maybe. There's 2 shawls that I want to knit. I haven't decided, but these are the color combos that I want to knit. Amy with Libby and May did an Intarsia class. And so everybody was, over the moon about it and gushing about it. And so I have to knit one of the shawls that she had on display because I tried them all on and they were all great. I also tried on some sweaters that she had, also great. And I'm a Libby and May collector, so I have all the yarn here that I need. Shocker. So I have all of her yarn that I need to knit anything that I want that I saw on display. Sorry, I have ADD. Ooh, and I'm in a rolly chair, which is not great. And then the creme de la creme. I have been a fan of Plies and Hellhounds since COVID days. Okay. So, Gabby's podcast, I would watch it and listen to it while just learning how to knit. And then also felt like if I needed a friend during COVID, that was her. I always felt like we could be friends, which sounds a little creepy. And guess what? We're the best when we're together. Super funny. It was super great meeting her. And of course, I got to shop her yarns, which was also really great. And she helped convince me that I needed to do the half moon tea, and I'm going to do it in her yarn. I can't pull this up and hold them all because I decided to hold this tiny microphone instead. This is called Good Bones, and it's in her Winnow base, which is 70% organic wool and 30% linen. It's non-superwash. This is 509 yards and it's fingering weight, and it's very generous. Like, what an amazing base. And I got to touch this in person. I got to see it on a garment. It's a wonderful yarn. It's so soft. I love the little halo of the linen on it. Fabulous. So that is that color. And then I'm also going to knit with, let's see here. Of course, I'm going to fuck up this cake of yarn. This is called Barren Logs, also in the Winnow base. Is it Winnow or Willow? Winnow base. And this color right here. Gorgeous. Gorgeous color. And then the final color, I got the last one of this color, I think. Suckers. I did wait, okay? I did wait until like the second to the last day to buy this, so y'all had enough time. This one is called Withdrawing. That's the color. And it's a greenish color. And it's just beautiful. Look at that. So I'm going to use those 3 colors for the Half Moon Tea. And I'm going to do a crop because it's too hot here in Austin. It's too hot. And it's already getting hot. It's going to rain today, though. So it's very twilight outside. Fun fact, if you don't know me, I'm a late Twilight fan, meaning I hated it when it came out. I thought it was so dumb. And now I can't not watch it when I'm doing things like throwing yarn bowls or whatever. It is like a guilty pleasure thing. I could probably say all the sayings, like quote it nonstop. Anyway, moving on. I also got this from Plies and Hellhounds. This is Nectar, and it is in, wait, is this the Nectar base? I think this is the Nectar base, but it says No Funerals. I think that is the color, No Funerals. Which, yeah, I would say no funerals ever. Not fun. 60% superwash merino. Who has fun in a funeral? 60% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 20% silk. It is fingering weight, and I will use these in a sock. And they're gorgeous. Look at that. Pretty. So pretty. Gorgeous yarn. Super fabulous. Thank you, Gabby, for everything. And I made her I knew she was going to be there. And so like anybody that has meant anything to me in my knitting journey, anyone that has meant anything to me in my knitting journey, I made them a special mug. I didn't take pictures of everybody's, but I took a picture of Gabby's because I'm quite proud that I did that. I drew a corgi on it and it was cute. And maybe it should be my other niche market that I just draw corgis for people. The next thing I went to go visit McKinney Knittery because it's close-ish to where we were for the retreat. And I had to stop because I'm up there. I'm never in Dallas. So McKinney Knittery is really close by. It's about like 30-minute drive. And I've always admired their store. I admire everything that they do. Absolutely wonderful people. So sweet. The store is so cute. And I picked up some of this yarn to make the rug sweater. So this is Gilead. I think it's Gilead. And it's this gorgeous burnt orange color. I think it's called Potimarron. Potimarron. That's the no, that's not the color. I don't know. I think that's colorway. Let's see. Let's look at this other one. Yeah, that's the colorway. And then I'm going to pair it with this, which is the same yarn. And it's all 100% wool, by the way, and it's like chunky weight. It's like Aran weight. And this one's called Ciel, which is a baby blue. And then because I couldn't decide if I wanted to knit it in green, I just bought the green, which is called Printemps, which is green. And yep. So super gorgeous. It's green in France. Printemps. Amy with Labina May would hurt me if she heard me saying these things in French. And then this one is called Boulot. Super gorgeous. That would be paired with that. So I think I'm going to do the green one and then maybe the orange one too. We'll see. And then I also had to get the Swanky sock by Magpie Fibers, and I have knit a sock in Magpie Fiber, and they're Swanky sock, and they're super luxurious. They're like the softest most wonderful sock because it is 80% superwash merino and 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. That's why. And this is in their McKinney Knittery special colorway called McKinney by Morning, which is like Amarillo by Morning is one of my favorite songs. I think anybody in Texas loves that song. So doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, George Strait is amazing. That's all I have to say. And I don't like country, but I like George Strait. McKinney by Morning, and it is their special store colorway. So there's these gorgeous little fleckies. Great job, Magpie fibers. So that's what I got. Not too crazy compared to like a woolen affair, which, by the way, guess who's vending at a woolen affair? Me. Special announcement, Liebeskind Ceramics will be at a woolen affair, and I really need to just chill out in this chair because it keeps moving. I am so excited to announce that I will be at a woolen affair this year vending. And I'm already developing all of the experiences that are to come. And yes, the booth will be an experience. It's going to be an experience. I'm going to Beyonce that booth out. And if you're a Beyonce fan, you know exactly what I mean. The goal is to have people line up to get into my booth. And that's going to happen. I'm putting it out there. It's going to happen. There's going to be amazing, amazing things. There's going to be mugs. There's going to be yarn bowls. There's going to be buttons. And who else? Like anything out of ceramics, probably. We'll see. But it's all going to be very themed around knitting. I make for makers. I make with intention. I make with colors in mind. I write this a lot better than I say it, but my intention behind all of my designs is not boring, and it is very like custom, one of a kind. It's art before it's fashion, and I keep knitters in mind when I'm thinking about designing and developing all these things. So these things that will be available are just going to be at a woolen affair. You're not going to be able to get them afterwards, unless I have like a crazy amount left. But they'll be exclusive to a woolen affair, and hopefully I'll be able to maybe one day sell in Brooklyn General. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, so that's all I've got for you today. I will show you a little bit of footage from the 2 days, maybe. I did some vlogging, but it's kind of like meh. I'd rather just talk about it. And I will be sharing a little bit more about the yarn bowls that are coming out and some new items that I'm preparing, especially the Luxe Button Club, which that's not going to be the name. It'll be a way better name than that. And just some previews and things like that. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day and a wonderful week. And I will see you next time to talk more about ceramics and all the things that I'm making. Until then, ta-ta.